Welcome to Nebraska Preps Postgame with your hosts, Mike Sautter and Jacob Padilla.
Hey everyone, welcome into Nebraska Preps Postgame. Mike Sautter here, Jacob Padilla there, breaking down what happened in high school basketball this past week, which there seemed to be a lot. We're going to start in Class A because the HAC tournament was a thing.
And all three of us attended HAC games this week.
At certain points.
We had it covered.
Yeah, so we were there for multiple games. So.
But, Mike, those games were in Lincoln. We never go to Lincoln.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start with the championship game, obviously, I think. So Southwest and North Star was in the boys' championship game, and Southwest and North Star were in the girls' championship game. But start with the boys. Pretty impressive performance from Southwest. That was the first time I've seen them this year, or was able to see them this season. And Uzziah Sanders was fantastic. Like, 11 of 13 in that game. Like, he was fantastic.
Yeah, 25, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and he's listed at 5'10", might be including his hair. Just those guys are the most athletic. Those two are the most explosive athletic players.
Talking about Micaiah, his brother. Yeah. Like, they're for as short as they are, they can offensive rebound, they can defend the rim because they get off the ground really fast and faster than a lot of people, and they're really bouncy and athletic.
Yeah, they get off faster and they get up higher too.
Yeah, and they can get to the rim on the offensive end, and their shooting from three has gotten a lot better. They've gotten a lot better. Yeah. I was super impressed with Southwest just overall in that game. And their unselfish play, quite honestly. Like, they're super unselfish.
Yeah, Micaiah, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and efficient as well. And then, heck, those two are fantastic, been fantastic all season. Story of the game was probably Dakari Wilson, though, because, oh boy, that dunk.
No, so when it happened, it was a breakaway, right?
Yeah.
And like a pick six, and he was going to the rim, and the defender was coming.
He was 6'5", by the way.
And a shot blocker.
And a bouncy.
And was coming, and you could see it kind of working its way.
It's like,
And I was like, he's going to try this. Like, I thought he was going to try and, like, jump stop or, like, something. Yeah. No. And then it was like, he's going to try this. He's going to try this. And then, bam, when it happened, the place erupted. The entire gym went bonkers, and it should have. It is the best in-game dunk I have seen with my, in person in a very long time, and it's up there with ever. I mean, it was fantastic. And they had about I think it was 8-10 point lead. That Southwest was kind of in that vein all game. Yeah. Once that dunk happened, it was game over. Well, and that was like 4:40 with left in the third quarter. The game, it ended.
Oh, and then he had a deep three to end the quarter, too. It put him up 20 going in the fourth, and then just kind of cruised the rest of the way. Yeah, and that's kind of what he's been doing all year. And you talk about the dunk. We talk about how athletic the Twins are. You can't have a team this good starting 3 sub-5'11" guards if they're not just absolutely freak athletes like that and play really hard. And because this is a unique team. We going in here is like, the Twins are really good. Like,
what else
Southwest,
do they have?
They'll be good. Like, but the lack of size is going to be a problem. And I mean, we saw them last year. Like, after the Twins took over, it's like, wow, these guys have really taken off. And the team was good, but it wasn't like they got their way in state. But then we saw how that ended, and like you didn't come into the year thinking, this is going to be the best team in the state, which is a testament to how much better all those guys have gotten, and those three in particular, because you look at the box score almost every single time, it's those three in double figures. And then when they get contributions from other guys, that's when they turn into blowouts. But they're winning based on those
Kobe
three.
Kerr plays with some physicalities, little undersized post.
Hit an 11 rebound game this week and win one of the games.
And I will say this about Hudson Mesger is he's a good shooter. Like, he didn't hit shots that night, but like you can tell, and he has the green light, and he should. Yeah. He's a really good shooter. So if they're getting contributions from those other guys, like you said, it'll be a tough out. The one thing is the size thing against a bigger team, and that's what happened with Westside. Their one loss, Westside size, right?
And even so, and they lost because of what we talked about, all the reasons we thought they might going in, but it was still a 5-point game. Right. Like, a few more shots go in, don't go in. Like, they still have a chance to win that game despite all the mismatches and things that they had. So, it's a very, very good team, and obviously the number one team still. Starting earlier in the week, they beat Lincoln Northeast 82-51 in their first game of the HAC tournament. Mackay had 33 in that game and tied the single game score record with 8 steals. And Uzziah had 23 in that game and 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. So again, continuing to stuff stat sheet, but broke Ryland Smith's school record of 956 points in that game.
And Uzziah actually went over 1,000 points in his career.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Followed up Southeast rematch. I was there the first one, obviously sold out. Austin was there for that one. Uzziah had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Kai had 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. But yeah, so and then finished anything from that semifinal that you saw, Austin?
Well, necessarily it was just everything that you guys are saying too, but it was my first time as well seeing Southwest, and I have seen different iterations of Alex Baugh teams at Southwest, and obviously with the way Nebraska's playing, Frager gets a lot of attention. He was at the championship game too. Ryland Smith has been fantastic in years past. This is my favorite version of any Alex Baugh team that I've seen at Southwest so far, just because of it is almost like poetry in motion. And especially when you can tell that one of those guys has the hot hand, they just ride that hot hand until somebody else gets it, and then they kind of pass it off and do it next. And Dakari is an excellent shooter on the outside. He's obviously a significant threat. But the way that Uzziah and Micaiah just go off of each other and know, hey, if this one's going to miss and we got to follow up, we've got other opportunities to move forward. They were in control of the Southeast contest throughout the semifinal, but there were some key moments, like you guys mentioned, that there were some size issues at different moments, different opportunities. They kind of had to ride the wave of momentum, but they were never not in control of the game at any point.
Yeah, and just for the week, the Twins combined to average 50.3 points on 69% from the field, 47% from 3, and 71% from the foul line. Just 2 players.
Yep.
And honestly, that's not out in the ordinary. They're doing pretty close to that on the season. And so I've coached both Twins during the summer. I've talked to Alex about them over the years. He has absolutely loved those guys from the start, and it's been kind of cool to see. He knew, they're small right now. They're somewhat limited.
He played them at a young age.
Guys. Yeah. And we saw that after Jackson Cruz got hurt. They needed somebody to step up midway through last year, and that's when the Twins really took off and made the team their own. And they're just something that you can't account for. You see teams try zones, they try all different kinds of defenses against them, and just they are so athletic. Nobody can stay in front of them. And they're getting to the foul line, they're getting in the paint, that they're able to go up and elevate over the top of taller players and finish in the paint. Uzziah in particular has become a much better 3-point shooter, and now that's a huge part of his game this season. So, they're number one in Class A, 16-1 on the season, and it's because of those 2 Twins and the players they've become, in addition to everybody else kind of filling their roles.
I will also say that the one thing that is underrated about them and Southwest as a team is their skip passes, looping passes. They made some very difficult passes for high school kids, and not just the Twins. I'm saying the whole team, and they connected them. Against North Stars 1-3-1 with some length there, they connected. I'm talking when I say a looping pass, I'm saying from not just the wing to the corner, but corner to corner type stuff. It's impressive. Coach Baugh's done a great job with this group. A couple years ago there was a lot of people that were questioning him. Yeah. As a personal friend of his, I will say I'm proud of him for the way that he's just kind of continued to battle and fight, and he's done a tremendous job with this group. And he didn't forget how to coach basketball, right? He won a state title at Elkhorn South, Johnny Trueblood and them, if you remember, that was 2015.
No, I remember.
Like, so, but he's a great coach. He's been a great coach, fantastic guy, and he's reaping the rewards of just staying the course, right? Staying the course, and frankly, the administration in that building too.
Yeah, and they're at Prep Tuesday, and then against Millard West on Friday.
Yeah, they have some size like that, the Prep size thing, and then Millard West has some size too. So that'll be interesting to see how they can maybe kind of manage that.
Yeah, and the North Star stayed at 2 despite the loss because that's how much respect Southwest has at this point. North Star they beat Columbus 79-53, like not a bad Columbus team. They destroyed them. 21 from Easton Schweitzer and 15 from Jayshawn Afu. And those guys are hitting shots. Like, they are really hard to stop. They forced 21 turnovers. So, that's the best version of North Star is what I also saw in the semifinal at Lincoln High. Destroyed them. 72-47 was the final. They went on a 30-6 run to end the first half. It was 10-6, and they outscored them 30-6 the rest of the way. And they were 6-9 from 3 in the first quarter alone. So when they're knocking down threes, in addition to Castor's ability to get to the rim, their athleticism, their disruptiveness defensively, like they are very capable of winning this whole thing when they're playing like that, which, again, is a testament to Southwest and their defense and what they did in the final because the shots were not falling for North Star in that one. Jordan Castor was so good in that Lincoln High game, just in complete control in the first half. 14 points, 6 assists, 0 turnovers in the first half. Just he's the one that orchestrated that big run they went on. He is certainly capable of taking over a game at any point. So North Star is still very much I think we'd probably see a better effort from them if they run into Southwest again down the road. So they have a big week as well at Omaha Central Tuesday and against Bellevue West on Thursday. So those top two here, that was the HAC tournament. Also on the girls' side, you saw a tough one in the girls' championship.
The one way that Southwest could beat North Star is to just grind one out, and they had a shot. I mean, they were up. They were, frankly, like there's some clock operator conversation after the game about maybe it stopped after a made.
After a made bucket?
Yeah.
No.
For like maybe a second and a half.
It was at Lincoln High, though, neutral.
Yeah, and then it maybe should have stopped after Annie Lou made a fantastic play. Like just, part of the Red Sea hit the game winner.
But the not barely
the clock maybe could have stopped. Like there's some clock stuff there at the end, too, so there are two situations. But, hey, listen. If you're Southwest and your girls, like, make a couple more threes, rebound a little bit better. Like, wasn't the game, 30s, right? What I'm saying is that wasn't the reason why they lost. It's just, and also, stop the ball, right?
It's what they just did a little drive pitch and just came around behind, drafted the player, and he got all the way to the rim and finished. Omaha commit.
It was a great play by her. She's
big player stepping up in a big moment. Yeah, that's what you need to do to win a conference.
She hit a couple big shots in the second half too that really propelled them. So when your best player makes plays like that in the end, it works. So I mean, North Star is obviously very good. We still think they're pretty good. Omaha North loss aside, North Star is still pretty good.
Yeah, and for Southwest, I'll get a chance to bounce back to the big one later in the week against Millard West, who talk about them in a second here. But continuing on for boys in Class A, Millard North up to number 3. Took care of business against Bryan. Mackay Caradine had 27 in that one. And then the big one was 68-49 against Prep. And both sides missing key players.
Correct.
Major Mosser is still out from that ankle injury he suffered over at Council Bluffs.
He warmed up.
That's so good, making progress.
Yeah, he warmed up, and then he came out when they went back in the locker room. He was in sweats. Yeah. So I don't know if that was a little gamesmanship or what, but
just give him some. Hey, maybe, and then Cooper Knight also missed their games last week.
That's a tough one.
And he's a really important piece for them.
Yeah, he might be out for a little bit here.
That's unfortunate.
Help.
Yeah, that changes things.
Shot making, ball handling, all that stuff.
And that puts more pressure on everybody else to be on every single game, because between him and Torrin Carter-Brown and Connor Peters, between those three, you're probably going to get enough offense every game. Right. Now you need those two guys to be on every single game, and they've both been somewhat inconsistent. So for Prep to kind of weather the storm, they're going to need those guys in particular to step up, I think. But in this one, Millard North took care of business. Yeah. Charlie Aiken, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks.
Really good in the second half. Really good in the second half. He also, on the Millard North thing, they've won 6 in a row against in-state competition and 7 of 8, I think, against in-state competition. The one loss was to Prep. Yeah. So that. Or 8 of 9, I think. Yeah. So, yeah.
And Aiken, we talked about him preseason, like he had a chance to
Trelly,
yeah, and then obviously the injuries.
Got hurt at the beginning, so it's taking us some time.
Yeah, but like that's the kind of game that we thought, like, with the rim protection, the scoring, the rebounding, like that's what he can provide for them. And so like him having this kind of game is probably big for them moving forward as we head close to postseason here. And then outside of that, just really good balance. They got 13 points from Carradine. They had 12 points on 4-6 from 3 from Jay and Albert off the bench. Corian Gallant had 10 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. So just kind of contributions from everybody making up for Mosser being not being in the lineup. And so they have Burke Tuesday, and then who's Friday? Westside Friday. That's right. Yep.
Big game Friday.
Yep. So that'll be 3 versus 4. Westside is number 4 for us in our coaches poll. They remain there. Millard North jumped from 5 to 3. So basically flip spots with Prep after the loss. But Westside held steady. They took care of business against Central, just one game. They had 21.7 boards from Emery Geddick and 19.7 rebounds from London Dada. So kind of their two guys stepping up and playing well for them. They're both tough matchups for Central as well. They held the Eagles to 29% shooting. So defense hasn't always been a strength for Westside this season, but they certainly locked up in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing. I think that's flipped a switch a little bit. Again, it's just their size, their length. If they play hard enough and kind of lock in on that defensive end, they'll be just fine, I think.
Yep. So Prep 5, they've Westside has Millard North and then at Omaha North on Saturday. Prep, they're at 5. They've got Southwest Tuesday and at Southeast Saturday. So that's
it's a tough week,
especially for missing
one
the
of
key
your
piece.
key players. Yeah.
Night against that Southwest backcourt, that's tough.
Yep.
Bellevue West is at 6 at 13-4. They beat Westview 67-61. Bryce Johnson Jr. had a heck of a week. Had 25 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals on 9 of 11 shooting against Westview. And they also got good games from both Amari Smith and Pierce Parker. We talked about those guys as kind of the X factors for them.
They are, because they're like, give them some size.
Yeah, 13 and 9 from Smith on 4-6 shooting, and then got to the line a bunch. And then Parker 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 of 7 from the field. So got what they need to against a Westview team that has been much improved over the second half of the season from a couple of the losses they took early on. And then they also beat Millard West 67-57. Johnson had 18 points, 6 assists, 4 steals in that one. Melcher had 17 points, 6 rebounds. And Morrow at 11 points, 4 assists. Amari Smith at 10, so just kind of the balanced effort there. And they've got Lincoln North Star Thursday at their place, and then at Kearney Saturday. And on the girls' side, Bellevue West pulled off an upset there. And they obviously
Millard West,
and Bellevue West, they had a really good season last year. Obviously, they were really young. You'd like, all right, they're going to end up losing. Stevie Harley moved out of the state, so she was a huge piece that kind of helped pull that team together. She was the one that defensively, length, inside, rebounding, did a ton for an otherwise guard-heavy lineup. And so losing her hurt. They're kind of, I think, with 9 and 7, they're kind of just having a solid season, but
middling.
Big win. Exactly. And now that Tatum's been having a great season, putting up big numbers for them, but ended up beating Millard West 66-59. And I'd say the key to the game was J.C. Woodard. She made 5 threes. Millard West, they also made 5 threes as a team. So that's going to be tough to overcome when you got one player equaling, like the three-pointer is a huge just in that math equation of trying to outscore the other team, like you lose from 3.
Her grandpa must have given her some tips on how to make a 3 now, because something.
Yes, I saw,
it wasn't her dad. I know that.
Yeah, no kidding. I did see Doug got caught on the on the Creighton video, on the TV broadcast or whatever. Just going through a tough moment. It's just face palming. So that was unfortunate timing there, but it was funny to see. Obviously, a huge Creighton supporter. He's there all the time. Good to see him doing well. But yeah, Tatum had 17 in that one. Skylar Johnson, they got 11 as sophomore. So good production from her as well. So yeah, that's a good win for that Bellevue West team that's looking to try
maybe
to
a little confidence
improve.
boost.
As we head towards the postseason. So
my main man Mike Jenkins helping out over there on the girls' side this year.
Yeah, double dipping.
Yeah,
helping out both sides there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of basketball experience there for him to kind of share.
Yeah.
All right. The rest class A, you've got Papio South at 7.
South.
Moved
Let's
up
stop at
spots.
Papio South here. They're kind of on a heater right now. Like they've won 5 in a row against in-state competition. Those wins are Omaha Westside, Westview, Bellevue West, Omaha Central, Omaha North.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
That's a good stretch there.
That's a pretty good last 2 weeks here, and they lost to Johnston, Iowa. But like, they're coming. Yeah. Like,
I think
after a bit of a slow start to the season as far as the team goes, they're coming. They're scary right now.
I think Levi Webb had 27 and 24 in a couple of games last week, and he's really kind of figured out the getting to the foul line. Like, he's starting to pile up the free throws, double digit. I think he went 15 to 16 in that 27-point game.
Yeah.
So just kind of the savviness of how, especially with the team that maybe everybody is loading up against him. They know like he's got to create so much for them. So he's kind of figuring out ways to still be effective, even if he's getting crowded, getting to spots.
They have the rest of the year. They have Norfolk, Bellevue East, Lincoln High, Lincoln Northeast, Millard West, Millard North is the final game of the year for them on the 20th. So you're like they could rack up a few more wins here. They're likely they could maybe play their way, get into like the 7-8, range of hosting a district, but you don't want them as a 2. Like, if you're the 7 and they're your 2 in, like, because it reverse it. If you're the 7 seed and you're the home seed or hosting seed as the 1 in the district, and they're on your side and they're the 2, that's a 50-50 shot. Like, at this point.
Yep. All right, so they climbed 2 spots. Southeast stayed at 8. Papio is up from 10 to 9, and then Westview is back in the rankings at number 10 after a good week. So Central fell out. They are still receiving votes, and Lincoln High is also receiving votes.
Right.
Anything else in Class A?
No, not really.
Yeah.
And then B, no real change.
Yeah. No changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the same. There were a few.
Aurora had a really good week.
Yeah, there are a few noteworthy results, starting with Skutt at number 2. So what they've been doing defensively lately, like they are settling into like vintage Skutt defense, because they held a good Roncalli team to 29.
Right.
They held a good Mount Michael team to 32. And then they went to Omaha Central and beat them 59-42 and held Central to 32% of the field. I was at that game watching that one. George Siebel was the force inside again, and then they've got Eddie Linderman and Lucas Heller both played both in double figures, played well, efficient, took advantage of their opportunities. So Central taking down a good Class A team in their own gym, just kind of continuing to show like, hey, Skutt, they're rounding into form and setting up the big showdown.
We're 8 days away from the game.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of lining up. Now, they got Bennington this week, or I guess Tuesday, tomorrow.
That's one of the few big
at Bennington
ranked matchups in Class B this week.
And then you got they got Gross and Mount Michael, but it's all lining up to February 10th at Norris.
Yes.
Which, that game 2 years ago at Norris was awesome. It was overtime. That was the Brock Scholl flip switch game.
Yep.
When he got beat, was getting banged on a little bit, and then he was like, "Nope, I'm not taking this." And the the physicality flip switch for Brock Scholl was that game. I was there. I'll kind of never forget that. He hit some threes. He was awesome. But, yeah, February 10th, if, they got 3 decent opponents, good opponents. Bennington's playing really well right now, a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year. So if they can get by that one and then Gross and Mount Michael. And
some good matchups Tuesday night.
Yeah.
The other noteworthy one in B, Scottsbluff. Won the tournament out there.
The Western Conference tournament.
With Gretna East in it.
In Cougar Palace. You ever been there? Come on, JP.
Where Cougar Palace is?
How did Gretna East get into this?
They needed an extra team, so they just kind of went.
And shout out to Gretna East because I saw their booster club got them a chartered bus to be able to go out there, which you definitely need. Yes. You do not need the yellow bus with the green seats to be able to get all the way out to Western Nebraska.
Yeah, Gretna East, runner-up of the Western Conference tournament.
Notably Western.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
and also an EMC team.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
They
anyway.
just need another team to play in it. And basically it's just a conference tournament.
But again, you asked Gretna East? I'm sure they asked other teams.
They probably asked everybody.
Well, I think they wanted to get a good team in it because their first game they beat Ascent out of Colorado 76-14.
Yep.
Scottsbluff did, so they're like, we needed some competition. Sydney, obviously, the injuries are not quite what they had been in recent years, won by 16. And then in the final, they beat Gretna 71-53. Really impressive win because Gretna's a solid team. They're still 5th in the rankings, didn't drop. But they had 19 from Riley Meininger, 16 from Keon Delgado. Sabal had 14. And when Nate Kelly doesn't have to score, he finished with 11. That's when Scottsbluff is really tough to beat, when he's able to just distribute, set up, not having to force things.
And he wasn't the leading scorer in that Ogallala game either. Yeah. And, I mean, that's kind of the tale of a different game itself, too. But you could tell they're still competitive even when he's not leading the charge. Yeah.
And I believe Riley Meininger went over 1,000 career points last week, so shout out to him. He's had a really strong career for them. So those are kind of two of the noteworthy results in B. I saw in Class C1, we've got a few adjustments here. Ogallala, Ashland Greenwood, obviously at the top.
AGB
kind of held strong.
Again.
To win the Trailblazer Conference tournament, again, held, 50-37 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 51-38.
Yeah, so off by 1 point both ways. But I knew it was a 13-point game. I guess people probably know, but Wahoo has a pretty big injury right now they're dealing with. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah. And so Auburn is still at 3 at 15-1, hanging in there, and then Grand Island Central Catholic up from 6-4.
That's because they had a really good week in their conference tournament.
So they finished up runner-up in Centennial. They beat Bishop Newman 44-29, and then Lincoln Lutheran 58-31. Really impressive performance there. And then fell to undefeated Bergen, who's really good by 15 in the conference championship. So earned some respect, moved up there. They're 17-3 now, and Cozad stayed at 5 despite a 79-48 loss to Ogallala, which, again,
shows you how good Ogallala is.
Exactly, the respect for Ogallala. And Sawyer Smith, casual, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, 1 block game.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about the Class B Game of the Year when we get to next Saturday at Heartland Hoops, which I know we'll talk about next week. Yeah. C1 Game of the Year.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So. Heck, man, it's always fun when we finish the regular season with a few weeks like this. Yeah. What we've got between this Heartland Hoop Classic.
We are for sure not limping to the finish.
There's a lot coming.
Yeah, but I think part of why Cozad stayed there too is they had a good week up until that point, and Kellen Shoemaker is having a heck of a junior year for them. Just a terrific shooter. He had 28 and 24 in their 2 games before the Ogallala game, and went 12-17 from 3. So. That's pretty darn good. It's the guy you do not want to get open looks to, and he's been doing it all season long. DC West, they moved from 4 to 6.
They just flipped with Central Catholic because DC West lost to UTAN in overtime.
Yeah, double overtime, 54-52 loss. Yes,
a good UTAN team.
C2 number 2 UTAN. So maybe a little harsh there, but especially considering UTAN is number 2.
They're 1-1 against UTAN this year.
So. Yeah. So those are the adjustments there. Anything else in C1?
No.
Austin, you had something on the girls' side?
Bridgeport going into 10.
Yeah,
That's the first time they've been rated this year.
15-4 this season.
Or no, I guess beginning of the year they were like 9-10, but yeah.
Yeah, some upsets on the girls' side in the Southwest Conference tournament. Holdridge actually took down Ogallala, which I think they were undefeated at the time.
Ogallala girls?
Yeah.
No, they lost to Milford.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
So it would be their second loss, but obviously their first one.
No shame in losing to Milford.
No. Yeah.
Shayla Rautenberg did.
Yeah, she's broken a couple of school records. But shout out the Dusters, obviously getting it done. That was a pretty big upset for Derek Runcy's squad too. And then moving, I think it's Class B for the Central Conference tournament too. Crete, who in our computer rankings I believe is like 21 or 20, they beat teams that were not only seeded higher than them in every single position of the Central Conference tournament, but also ranked higher in every single position, and they ended up winning it. So it's their first one since the year after Morgan Malley's graduation.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
Yeah. Morgan Malley, pretty darn good in high school.
Yeah, she was real good.
Dude.
Yeah.
She was, you brought the, the conference tournament in York? Why can't I think of this?
Crossroads?
The other, what's the Crete conference tournament? Central,
yes. Too many CCCs.
Yeah,
and we got to cut that off.
No, they both play in York, too.
No, Central was at Adams Central. The Central Conference, they do neutral sites, and then they do the championship games in the same spot. Yeah,
I remember going to York. I'm like, I got to watch Morgan Malley play.
Yes.
So I went to York for the conference tournament because they played, and there was felt like 50 people there. And then I went to Crossroads at the auditorium in that same, day. I'm like, I got to see this. I got to see this person play. And she was a sophomore, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And it was a Monday. I remember I just spent kind of the whole day Monday there. I was like, yeah, this is different.
Yeah.
She's different. And lefty too, right? So, yeah.
Those are some really good Crete teams.
Yeah.
Really good Crete teams.
Well, that was John, Larson, and defended the hell out of people.
Which, again, I mean, this Crete team, they're still not over 500, but they win the Central Conference tournament. Coach Britt Ehlers, I mean, you never know. Something like this, you could spark a run. And
Coach Ehlers has been there for, I guess since Larson. I guess that state title run with Morgan. But Ehlers is a good guy. Kid was a real good basketball player.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. Okay.
All right. On to C2. We mentioned Bergen Catholic won the Centennial Tournament. They beat Hastings St. Cecilia 67-34. Did survive a close one against Lincoln Christian for the second time this year. 61-58, and Christian is receiving votes in C1, and then bounced back and beat GICC by 15. And they got 20 from Gavin Baker and 18 from Trey Mooney in that championship game. So plugging right along there, 18-0 now. Johnson Brock, they moved up one spot despite taking a loss to Falls City Sacred Heart. They dropped that one 55-50. But then they also won the rematch with EMF, who is now moved up a spot, number 6. And Brody Kaler in that one had 32 points and shot 10 of 15 from the field, 7 of 7 from the line, hit 5 threes. So, he's still really good. And they certainly are going to be in the mix throughout because of that. And then shout out to McCool Junction. Gave East Butler their first loss, 61-48 in the CRC title game. First championship since 1986 for McCool Junction. And Carson McDonald, who's had a great season, put up 23 in the championship.
And also in C2, before we move on from there, we need to maybe keep an eye on Alma. Beat Bertrand this past week. Bertrand's a good team, nice team, ranked 2 in where are they? D1, D2, something like that. Bertrand is 5 in D1. So Alma's one that we need to kind of
18-1 now. They've got a tough 1-2 punch in Tucker Biskup and Xavier Mitchell. Like those two guys have put up big numbers throughout their careers.
Their one loss is to Kozad.
Yeah. Some people have been talking about Alma in the past few weeks of the pod. Some people.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and on the girls' side, there's certainly a player to watch out for there for the next 4 years, 3.5 years, I guess.
Alma girls basketball is going to be on one for a minute.
Yeah. Well, and on your point, too, I mean, just this, we're like wrapping up like the conference weeks as it is. Last week with the RPAC. This week you got FKC. There's a lot of good basketball that's going to happen in Central Nebraska or has already happened. A lot of teams that people need to be on the lookout for out there.
East Husker's a big one, conference tournament week this week, too. So,
Not a ton in D1 or D2 to touch on. North Platte St. Patrick is number 3 despite a 99 record.
You know why?
Which speaks to their schedule.
They're playing, they're just playing everybody.
Yeah. Ben Hires leads the way for them. So, yeah, it's not often you see a 500 team in the top 5 of a poll, but the coaches have a lot of respect for them. Elm Creek slipped a little bit. Quinn Oberg put up 38 in a loss, which that's tough to do.
He does that a lot. When they lost to Alma as well, that was when he got his career scoring record as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, big numbers for him. They'll be fine. And you mentioned that FKC, you'll be there this weekend.
Yep, Saturday at UNK. Yep, it'll be a big one.
And D2, top 3 remain the same, just some slight juggling. So not a whole lot to hit on there.
To the St. Pat's thing,
yeah.
Their losses: Valentine, rated receiving votes; Bridgeport, a rated team. These are not in there.
Yeah. Valentine C2.
Yeah, C2.
Bridgeport
C1.
10 and C1.
Yeah. Let's see. They lost to Ogallala.
Yeah, we know.
They lost to Gothenburg.
Yeah, they receiving votes in C1.
They lost to Sandy Creek, who had been rated all year. They've lost to Cozad. Obviously, we just talked about them. They beat Overton. Rated.
Overton, 8 in D1.
Yeah. And they lost to Kimball, who is moving up in receiving votes. Actually, one coach had Kimball rated 5 this week.
Oh, wow. They are 14 and 3. They're receiving votes in C2.
Yeah. So, their schedule's pretty good.
Yeah.
They've played some really tough teams.
It's tough out there just putting together schedules because of just where those schools are located, and you're either going to have to travel a long way or just play who's around.
Especially if you're like a D1, D2 team, it's hard. So. They just Coach O'Malley's getting them ready. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we get to shout-outs?
No, I'm good.
Get those shout-outs, JP.
All right. Here we go. I've got to start here with Yaya Harris again, the sophomore out at Twin Loop, because it's fascinating the season he's having, just considering everybody knows, the scouting report.
The one guy.
They're putting the entire defense on him. I'm sure they're throwing everything out at him. And yet he still finds a way to get off 20, 30 shots in these games and put up just massive numbers and rebounds and sets his teammates up to steals. He's just a phenomenal athlete playing at that level. But start at 28 points on 11 of 16 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3, 2 of 3 from the line, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. So again, a little bit of everything there in a 72-17 win against Medicine Valley. And then ended the week with a 47-point game on 16 of 39 from the field, 7 of 18 from 3. Dude took 39 shots, 18 from 3, and again, with every defender on the other team draped all over him, I'm sure, the entire game, and still getting these shots off. 8 of 9 from the line, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block in a 78-68 win against Sandhill Setford. So they actually needed the points in that one for them to get the win. So I believe 47 is the new high that I've seen in Nebraska this year. It was 46 from Taylor Holman last week. So bar continuing to be raised. Southwest senior Houston Billiter, again, another 40-point outing.
Yeah, school record.
At 40 points, 10 of 22 from the field, 6 of 13 from 3, 14 of 17 from the line. Also had 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block in a 68-60 win against Southern Valley. So again, this isn't in a blowout. They needed all of that production to get the win there. And followed up with 29 points on 10 of 20 from the field, hit 3 threes, 6 of 8 from the line, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals in a 69-61 win against Medicine Valley. So, and he had a 36-12, I think, last week, his last game last week. So heck of a stretch there for Billiter, who is obviously a fantastic football player and is having a great overall athletic senior season for Southwest. Logan View, Scribner Snyder Jr., Grayson Krause, 39 points. So just missed out on joining the 40-point club, but 12 of 26 from the field, hit 6 threes, 6 of 12, 9 of 13 from the line. Also had 7 rebounds and a steal in a 56-52 win against Arlington. So he had 39 of their 56. And Overton Jr., you mentioned Overton earlier, Brock McCarter, he had 28 points on 60% from the field, hit 3 threes, plus an and 1, 16 rebounds, 9 assists, and 4 blocks in a 66-44 win against Shelton. And then finally, Wahoo senior Cody Hester, 31 points on 12 of 19 from the field, hit 4 threes, 3 from the line, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a 70-33 win against Platt Smith. And so he scored 31, Platt Smith had 33.
It's a decent game.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for Nebraska Preps Postgame this week.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.